So they'll be calling you a radical. So Snow, Utah, small S, capital N. Oh, maybe I'll mow my lawn again like I did 2 years ago. A little different than last year. You never know around here, man. So how about RASHID SHAHEED? Just let Al Michaels do his games every game. He likes to show off on Thursday night and Sunday night football. He's the man. So we're all on Abraham Williams watch around here. So we're at the basketball game last night. That great basketball team that they have. I think they're finally in a good spot. They that insanity, those road trips, which was I don't know how they. My God, I think a cross country nightmare. I think it took them a while to go, but I think they're gelling. They're healthy. They're strong. I think they're a good place. So the real season will start this week with Montana on Thursday, Montana State on Saturday, and this team is loaded. You know, I was leery about Eric being the head coach. I voted for Jimmy DeGrafty, but because of the Randy Ray thing. I'm like, is he a Randy Ray knockoff? But, you know, this is his second year in, and after watching him and his style and everything, he ain't Randy Ray. He's made a believer out of me. Yeah, I really like him big time, and it's my favorite team ever. That's saying a lot. My favorite team. So, football. We tagged this. We're on Abraham Williams. So we're all sitting around. We're all talking, all us hardcore fans. There's a few of us still around. And, you know, everybody's talking. Well, Weber State's, everybody just springboarding out of here. That we're just going to become this springboard, you know, minor league for other I said, no. You're fucked up on that. You're not paying attention, man. Did guys leave here when Jay Hill was here? Fuck no. These are world-class fucking athletes. They don't like losing. I mean, with aspirations to play at the next fucking level. I see the great Adam Rodriguez has hit free agency. Well, he's playing for the USFL. He's probably the best player in the USFL. And he could be playing in the NFL. He could be playing, but, you know, he did for a bit. He says, I ain't sitting on the bench. Just like Jerry Carty. We were talking about Jerry Carty last night, and they're like, well, Jerry, I said, no, you're misguided. Jerry Carty could be playing in the NBA today, right here, right now. He turned down NBA contracts. He's making gods of money in Europe, number one. Number two, and I talked to Jarek a lot about this before. I says, they offer you the deal, don't do the Jeremy Sieglin, Joe Ballenboy routine, and get to an NBA and let them play games with you. Head games, go ahead and take the European contract. And this was 2020, you know, it was the COVID nightmare. So Kozak talked to me, and he went to Czech Republic, and then, let's see, a guard was the MVP in that Spain league. He shot 62%. I said, number one, he plays. He's a superstar. It's like Scotty Bamforth over there. Fuck. Well, I knew that here. An unbelievable fucking player over there. I see Zaire Porter broke his foot. He was going crazy over there. Jarek's coming off shoulder surgery, but he's supposed to be back ASAP. Of course, Jeremy Sieglin. Oh, my God. What a fucking player. Joe Ballenboy played the EU championship game last year, you know. But to this football program, and we were talking, no. Look, I got roped into doing the play-by-play. I didn't even want to in all those Jody Sears years, those years before that. I didn't like this program. It was dirty. It was corrupt. I didn't even want to be involved with it. But Manny and the radio station used to always run to me. Come on, man. Nobody will do it. You're the only one who can do it. You know, basically twisted my fucking arm into doing it. So I would do it, and I really wasn't happy about it because I couldn't stand what was going on here. You know, no local fucking players, picked over LA kids that couldn't play. Well, and just bad coaching, corrupt money being ripped off left and right. Of course, then basketball, you know, we played right there in the Swenson. Just the likes of, we were arguing on who's the greatest coach last night. Weber State history. You know, of course, Kev, my buddy, he's been here as long as I have, and he's a Phil Johnson guy. And I'm like, you know, you're probably right, but I say a Bagelin. But I mean, Phil went third. Well, it was 27-3 that year. Fuck, I think he was 28 years old when he was coaching here. Dick Mata, Gene Bisher, the Bagelin. incredible Neil McCarthy. What a fucking coach. We're talking about that Lamar loss. And I ran into, what's her name over there? The old from here. We were talking about that game. And Moore's auntie. We're talking about Lamar come in here. They were 6th seed, blah, blah. That could be the best team Weaver State ever had, one of them. And besides that, Thick Pen and Soldier team. Besides that, Ruben Nemhart, Jimmy DeGrafferty team. That's who I say the best team. Or we'll see this year. So we're like, football. I got a bad blood test, so I'm in a very precarious situation with my leukemia again. It's been a long bout. I've had open heart surgery twice, blah, 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 blah. I didn't plan on being here. I got stuck here because I'm connected to the hip of that hospital. I'm born and raised here. I've been here. I plan on teaching in Europe. And that was the gig. And cancer moved me over in 2011. So we're talking about this football program, and I'm over to get my blood work, and I run into one of the guy, and we're talking. He says, "Oh, you're Kevin Blanch, He says, I played here at Weaver in the mid-'60s on that great team with Lee White and Owens." I said, "Yeah, Owens just died, Ogden High School." "Where's his name? Why is his fucking name on it?" "Bruce Hanley, Ogden High School." "He, Bonneville High School." I mean, unbelievable. The players, that was in the early 60s, in the mid-'60s. I worked for Bruce Hanley. But after that, Mike Price was crooked as hell. I mean, that program, but at least they, had some pretty good fucking teams. But then it got corrupt and dirty as dirty. The NCAA comes in here and gives them the death penalty. The deal was clean house. Get rid of it all. We'll let you off the mat. They did. There's still clingers on here, rooting and robbing. And the finance and the economics are a fucking disaster here. So here comes Jay Hill. So, I'm writing a book called sNOwballs, Chances. Now, why is it named that? Because I worked for Bruce Hanley in the 90s. I was a student professor. They're number one school of business in the United States, bar none, beating Morton, beating all, and we're public. Now they're under investigation by the FBI for selling state secrets to China because Warren Buffett and Bill Childs stole it. They gave, they gave Childs an honorary degree for taking the number one school of business and ripping it to shreds and turning it into glass. That's what they do around here. So, I'm standing right here. Sports Illustrated rolls in here and wants to do a piece. I think it's mid-'90s. Bruce Hanley, who was an all-American football player here on that great fucking team. I spoke at his wake, by the way. Born and raised in Ogden. Donated his brain to the institution that studies brain injury. He started to lose it. I remember going to talk to him one day when I worked for him, after, about some stuff. And he looked at me all weird. I've known him forever, dealt with him every day. He was getting amnesia, didn't even know who I was. What the fuck? So before that, he says, this corrupt fucking... That's back when we used to care about the economics. Back when the football team and the basketball team, it used to be required to be profitable around here. It used to matter. So Jay Hill rolls in here, and I talked to Jay. I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind? And he's like, what do you mean? Do you know how dirty and corrupt this fucking football program is? Do you know? I mean, Joey Sears has one home game. There's money missing everywhere. So in the 90s, Bruce is like, fuck it. And this is an all-American football player who played here. It's got to go. In the 90s, this was this unique boutique, probably the best public university in the country. That's not arguable. Here's a private institution who's the number one school of nursing in the country, the number one business school in the beating Wharton, beating all of them, and it's public. It's the number one. I remember being on Wall Street, and this guy comes and he says, "You went to Weaver?" Yeah, I'm Clyde Coley protege. And he's like, You guys are like this boutique fucking. And I remember when they fired a Bagelin, I sat with Paul Thompson that morning having breakfast in Seattle, and he's like, I said, you can't. Got it. He says, no, Kevin, this public university, this institution, we're going to be the Ivy League school of public schools. I said, what do you mean, going to be? We already are. Don't you get that? We already are. What do you mean? Fuck, we're the number one school business in the country. We're the number one fucking engineering school in the country. We're the number one nursing fucking school in the country. That's unarguable. Unarguable in the 90s. So he fires a Bagelin. Fucking stupid. Should have never happened. This great basketball program. Haven't won since, really. And the NCAA. So Bruce Handley, who's the dean of the finance department over there, it was really Clyde Cooley's show, but he's like, fuck it, kill it. It's bleeding so much fucking money. We used to do the due diligence on it. It's just like we were talking the other day when the merger run Mariner Eccles Bank, the world's biggest holding company in the world, First Security, was an institution here. You should see the building down on 24th, what they've done to it illegally. It's so fucking dirty and crap. By the way, this mayor in Ogden, worst mayor in history, the Caldwell Cathedral, do you know what its last act was? That old, great big giant, probably the oldest tree in Ogden, was in San Diego, over there on 27th and Monroe. He cut it down. So I've been trying to find out why. Because they can't. It was his last act. He's a degenerate, sick fucker. Worst mayor in the history. So, anyway, back to the football program here. So he wanted to bring in men's soccer here. We did the due diligence. It's fucking bleeding millions and money missing. The NCAA's in here. The NCAA's like, we're killing them. You know, warning them, slapping them on the hand. Finally, the NCAA's like, fuck it. You know, death penalty. It's the dirtiest, losingest fucking nightmare in history. So they come in and do a piece on it. Bruce is standing right there, and I'm standing right next to him. I was one of his due diligent workers. He had us going, boy. And I remember when he teaches statistical probability, get out some dice. Boom, 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 boom. I'd go boom, 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 boom on statistical probability. I says, I can't believe you Blanch on this shit. I says, well, I started playing cattle futures in Ogden when I was 14 years old. You don't think I know how to shoot dice. I grew up in fucking Ogden in the 60s and 70s. I know statistical probability. And so they asked him point blank, what's the odds, what's the chances of you guys just fixing this? Turning around this corrupt nightmare. Cleaning it up. Making a profitable. And Bruce Handley, he's a big dude. He played guard. He's a big dude. He looked right at me and says, a snowball's chance in hell. So that's what I call Hill. So Jay comes in here and his wife got a different leukemia. I have a leukemia that is a death sentence. I give too much to live in 2011, blah, blah, blah. So I started paying attention. I'm like, look at this guy. He's recruiting local players. And then really, I was doing the play-by-play, and my little grandson, he's with me a lot when I'm out of the bone marrow transplant center. I'm sitting right over there. He's trying to get down on the field during games. I mean, there's nobody here. You know, the cheerleaders pick him up. I remember there's a picture. I got to find it out there with TJ for the Bills holding him. We started to watch this thing turn around. And I started to see it happening. And I started to see the people he was giving scholarships to. Shaheed. Out of nowhere, he dig them out. You know, Jack Kelly's another example. Just dig these guys out. Abraham Williams. I mean, you just dig them out. Unbelievable. A lot of them local. And I started to watch this turnaround happen. We go up to Eastern Washington, and they're playing Cooper Kupp, who could be the greatest player in the history of the Big Sky. I mean, there's a really good case that it's him. I mean, incredible. And TJ's diving to save that game. Kupp makes the second, beats him 14-13. That's when I knew he turned it around. I started to watch these players, and I started to watch this evolve, and I'm like, oh my God, look at this, look at this. And then they just started winning and winning and winning. And if you don't believe me, and then you got this incredible marquee program into the playoffs 8 consecutive times. Now, I was surprised Jay stayed as long as he did. His players, and the proof's in the pudding. Everybody's bitching about everybody leaving and hitting the ball. Well, why wouldn't you? When you watch this Mickey Mantle, this high school coach they brought in, why would they do that? Why would you take this? We knew Jay was going to leave eventually. He had offers and offers. He stayed longer than he probably even really should have, but he did because he said, I wanted to finish this job. They're dangling millions in front of him. He's from down there. And he dealt with this corrupt program. I mean, I talked to him about it. He's like, I don't know how he got it out as long as he fucking did. But he did. Guys never left with him. It's like I was talking to Sharp right over there the other day, and I'm like, I said, you guys should have never lost any of these fucking games. This is the most loaded, talented fucking team. I think this year was the most loaded, talented football team in the history of this school. Except for besides the 2017, 2018 crop. The Jay Hillers. And if you don't believe that Jay Hill did it, last night we're watching, so we were at the basketball game, we're all arguing about all this, talking about this, We're talking Winston Reed, we're talking Abraham Williams, we're talking Jack Burgess, we're talking Collins, we're talking Abraham Williams. I says, well, I'm headed down after the basketball game to go watch the Weber State Jonah Williams versus RASHID SHAHEED Bowl. Can you ever remember time 2 Weber State players lined up opposite of each other that are starters, superstars? I can't. So you have Jay Hill players. Most of them undrafted. This is just how good they are. Opeta, Stansbury High School. Eagles. The incredible RASHID SHAHEED. Oh my God. Nobody gave him a scholarship. Nobody. Except Jay Hill. Undrafted. The incredible Jonah Williams. He was so good, he was unfucking believable. Only one Jay Hill that gave him a scholarship. TJ, both TJs. I used to call him TJ1 and TJ2. Both of them played in the NFL. Tehran and Tehran. All playing in the fucking NFL at the same time. The NFL played a clip a few weeks ago. The top 5 plays in the NFL. That for that week. 3 more Weber State players. TJ saves the game on a tip ball. RASHID runs the fucking punt back in Lambeau Leapland. That incredible sack by Jonah Williams. Now, who the fuck could do that? Well, I've been here my whole life. Nobody. And we were just talking about the great Owens. Me and him were talking in the hospital. I was over there redoing my blood works, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, Lee White's got a Super Bowl ring. Didn't he play backup for Joe Namath? Yeah. He says, well, Owens. And I says, yeah. Ogden High, right? Yeah. I says, yeah. We're talking about my Uncle Cloud who just passed away. Coach Peterson begged him to come up here back in those days, way back. This is in the 50s. Went to BYU. Yeah, Ogden full of fucking incredible. Utah's full of fucking incredible. Look at Puka last night. He's Orem High School. He's incredible. So you had Jonah Williams, you had RASHID SHAHEED, superstar, RASHID. There you have Cooper Kupp, Big Sky. You had Puka, Orem High School. So why the fuck did they do this? Why would you take a team? You know how much a team, the conference, and the team gets for a championship? Jay Hill won the Big Sky Championship 4 fucking years in a row with RASHID on all 4. You know how much this school gets for a playoff game in the television revenue sharing? And Jay Hill they'd get 2 or 3 every fucking year. So he leaves. Okay, we knew that. How do you turn it down? I think he's going to be the head coach at BYU. So we're talking last night, and he says, oh, these guys just I said, they're springboard now because they don't like this fucking coach. Now, why would you you have this incredible coaching staff that Jay Hill built. They did nothing but win to one of the marquee great fucking football programs, one of the greatest stories turnarounds of football history. And all of them stayed. You know, Andre Dyson could be the best DB coach in the country. He's from here. You know, that played in the NFL. He's incredible. He's here. He's a DB coach. Duff, who I call Mini Jay Hill. That's always he coaches just like him. He reminds me of him. Coach Myers. Coach Myers could have left a long time ago. That great offensive line coach. What a coach. So you got all these assistants from Jay Hill, this whole program nucleus. Why wouldn't you keep it together? You know, Matt Hammer goes, I get that, you know. And now when I look back, Matt Hammer was put in a position he never should have been put in. You know, Jay Hill played DB at the University of Utah on those great Urban Myers teams. And he got spit on down there. University of Utah did him wrong. You know, that's why I took this to prove a point to him. And the dude's on a mission. I know he's on a fucking mission. Sharp right there. I'm like, what the fuck you guys losing these fucking games? You know, what the fuck? And he says, I'll tell you what. I says, Jay Hill was here, you wouldn't lose these fucking games with these exact fucking players. He said, Jay Hill wouldn't fucking let us fucking lose. He'd demand we win these fucking games. Why would you take a high score, a D fucking 8 fucking, you know, D whatever, this Notre Dame prep? It's got to be some kind of friendship there, some kind of relationship. Why would you bring him in and then turn him into the head fucking coach when you got all this good thing, this profitability? Now, over there on the basketball coach, you know, you had Randy Rayism, who win 20, out. Didn't want to win. I mean, sickening for years. Randy Ray, me and him got in a huge argument right over there. I used to work for him. And I'm like, way back when he first got here, you know, and I'm like, why do you fucking keep losing these games in the tournament? You're not even ready. I mean, fuck Sieglin and Ballin' Boy? How do you fucking lose to anybody? You know? Well, we just don't get the players like when you then, you know, oh, you don't get the fucking players, I told him. You mean like Damian fucking Lillard, who you never went to the tournament? Oh, fuck you, I told him. You're full of shit. You've had more talent than fucking Phil Johnson, than fucking Dick Motta had. He's had more, I mean, the talent that's played in this fucking, I think back on the last decade, football and basketball, the talent in this university fucking blows my mind. Look what they're doing in Europe. Jerry Harding, Jeremy Sieglin, Joe Ballboy, fucking Jerry Harding, fucking Damian Lillard. I mean, they got fucking 3 of them on this team that'll play fucking, most likely, they probably got 7 or 8 that'll fucking be superstars in Europe on one team right here, right now. I mean, Threet, Siddell's kid, he's something else. Of course, Dylan Jones, forget it. I mean, he'll be a superstar in the NBA, no doubt in my fucking mind. I was talking to old man Freeze, you know, the old man, he's 95 years old. He's the first one that got on Dylan. I mean, when Dylan was a freshman, I'm like, he's okay. But he's not Lillard. We knew what Lillard was. Lillard just workaholic, but Lillard had so much talent. It was unbelievable. Randy wouldn't cut him with it, but Dylan's worked at it and worked at it and worked at it, where Dylan's turned himself into this, oh, fuck, he's incredible. You know, look at him at the free throw line now. He couldn't make free throws when he's a freshman. He's turned himself into this fucking Adrian Dantley, Magic Johnson mix. So, why the fuck would they? So they're bleeding fucking money. They're like, oh, these guys. I said, no. None of them ever left when Jay Hill was here. Wouldn't you fucking leave? You're a preseason All-American, Abraham Williams, and he's got you on the fucking bench. He's jumping his players over All-Americans. By the way, Winston Reed got invited to the Hula Bowl. You know, I gave him a folded paper crane's lay asking. You know, his mother passed away of cancer, and I saw him and says, hey, I got something for you. I've called these guys out. I know more than anyone, because I got so involved when I watched Jay Hill, because I'm fighting for my life full of fucking cancer, and I started to get really turned on by this fucking turnaround. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's brought football back here. He's brought it back, like the 60s when we were kids. Jay Hill's done it. He turned it to passion. He turned it, people fucking love this fucking team. People love Jay Hill in this fucking town. They love these players. It became profitable. It became so exciting. The games here were fucking thrilling, the Hail Mary, all of it. Every fucking game. My grandsons fucking loved it. My grandsons don't even want to go now. You know? This team had so much fucking talent, and they barely go 500. And then they wonder why everybody fucking leaves. What's the problem up here? Yeah, that's a good fucking question. Who's making the? Well, I know who's making the decisions. Trying to get me going. So, sNOwballs, Chance, and Hill. So, I'll call out to RASHID SHAHEED. And I want to say this, because I'm going to tag this. because we're all arguing. Because Abraham Williams hasn't announced where he's going. You know, we all assume BYU. Because, of course, Jay Hill recruited all these guys. And we know what Jay Hill is. And if this doesn't prove you what Jay Hill is and recruiting and what this coaching staff was, was, you're not paying a fucking attention. Who the fuck at this level can put that many guys in the NFL and they're not just, role players, they're fucking superstars. If you like RASHID SHAHEED, you're going to love Abraham Williams, like I said last night. Well, let me tell you about Abraham. Right there in the switching gym, you know about his 55 he ran this winter? He doesn't even ride track anymore. I was on this from the beginning because I watched him play at West High School. He played quarterback. That's what he should have been playing. Do you know what he ran in that fucking gym? He ran the fastest 55 in 26 years in this fucking school. The guy is not a 4'3", he's a 4'2" guy. And so I says, let me tell you something about the NFL, about fucking big-time football. The 4 things that matter in the NFL: speed, strength, speed, strength, speed, strength, speed, strength. I will quote Weiser, and Weiser knows. I would have never pulled the plug on Weiser. You made that decision to stay with him early, and you just jerked him out after a fucking one-back game. Look what they did back at Northern. Drilled him. Remember they lost Bankston. And I like Richie, but 18-year-old, but it's not just about quarterback. It's about a lot of things. Weiser told me, and he knows, he played with both RASHID and Abraham extensively. He says, I honestly think that Abraham's faster than RASHID. I said, nobody's faster than RASHID. No, I really do think he is. After watching him, I think he might be right. I mean, talk about a 1-2. If they put one on the 4x100 relay Olympic team, I'd have them 3rd and 4th on the anchors. They're that fucking good. So we're all arguing where he's going to go. Now, he grew up in the shadow of the University of Utah. I kind of got a hunch maybe there's a little deal going on between Utah and BYU on him right now. I'm sure there's other schools that want him, big time fucking schools. He had to leave. You're preseason All-American, you're standing on the fucking sideline. I remember the play-by-play so bad, Gray Bill says to Emmy, oh, fuck, don't you give me, God, why is he running that out at 168? Are you kidding? He should be running everyone back. He's the greatest kick returner in the history of fucking football. He had 5 in one fucking season for touchdowns. Every time he touches it, look the fuck out. This team had so much fucking talent and they couldn't win. Coaches matter. I guess economics don't matter. You should see the fucking basketball. You saw it last night. They're playing. By the way, that kid that put 12 points immediately in the second half, he's a Utah kid. Park Gilbert. They're not even a D2 school. This is who they're fucking scheduling because you're trying to get your fucking balance sheet in order? Well, why don't you take a look at here? The fucking corruption's going here. You want the basketball team? So you take it out on the basketball team? You couldn't even pay for Clocky to go back east on that godforsaken back-to-back-to-back? Well, you fucked up this team. But I think they're back in sync. I was against Eric becoming the head coach, but I'm not now. I'm glad he is. I really like him. I like his style. I like everything about it. We'll see what happens with this team. They're ready. Football, I think it's over. I mean, as far as that Jay Hill legendary fucking gig. I mean, Kevin, my buddy, what he said in the hand, he says, well, we're sitting here watching the Northern Arizona game and then the UC Davis game. He looks at me and says, so disgusted. He says, well, I guess we're back to being a basketball school. Yep. So we'll see. But anybody, if you like RASHID SHAHEED, you fucking love Abraham Williams. And my hat's off to Jay Hill. And, hopefully my blood work comes back. I don't die. Been a hell of a battle, right? So 2011, I got sick. The whole Lillard thing, blah, 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 the Randy Ray thing. Stuck here. I'm still stuck here. I'm connected to the hospital. I can't get away, but it's okay. I like it here. Born and raised here. And to watch these marquee athletes over this since I got cancer, fuck, even right before I got cancer, I love McCoy over there. He's like, fuck, I love that guy. You know, one of my favorites. My favorite basketball player here of all time is Jerry Carty. But that might change because I call him the trifecta now. You know, Dyson Kohler, two, and Dylan. I like all those players over there a lot. And so we're all betting. We all got freaking little side bets where Abraham goes. I'm torn between BYU and Utah, but who knows? You know, might surprise us. He hasn't announced yet, but whoever gets him is going to get the still of a fucking generation. Because he's all that. Well, this team, these players that I just mentioned over the last decade. I mean, what a credit to Jay Hill recruiting. Oh, and even as bad as I disliked Randy Ray because he couldn't fucking win, boy, did he bring some fucking talent here, didn't he? But we need to start going back. You know, my nephew signed here. He's the defensive player of the year, linebacker. Will he stay? He's on a mission right now. Well, will he? I don't think anybody's going to fucking stay here. I think we're back to the Jody Sears years, and apparently the economics don't fucking matter. So, all right. A snowball's chance in Hill. Fuck. Amen. Stand tuned.